video, two scuba divers in Mexico had a very close encounter with a great white shark when it slams against their metal cage, ripping it open and leaving the divers stranded in the dangerous water.
Patrick Sean Walsh shot the video, survived the experience. How do I know? He's on the couch. Patrick, what made you do that? What got you in that cage?
I've always been interested in sharks and the ocean, and got an opportunity to go dive with these sharks just off of San Diego, and took advantage of it. Never, thinking that this was going to happen.
Yeah, you're already in a shark cage. Aren't you just asking for trouble? Aren't you taunting the sharks by being in the shark cage? Oh, look, it's guys in a box.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that, but I didn't think that was going to be the case. Obviously, people. These sharks aren't actually after us. The fact of the matter is...
They don't look like they're there to welcome you with open fins.
So wait a minute, were you doing a scientific experiment, or this was just like a joyride type of thing, like advertised, hey, go down in a cage and sharks might come at you?
Well, I was definitely out there to see them in their natural environment, and that was what I was there for. I wasn't there for any other reason than pure enjoyment.
What are you holding in your hand, young man?
This is a segment of the cage. Actually,
oh, man.
You can see it's significant piece of cage, but bent it like it was a toothpick.
And everybody on the crew signed it.
Yeah.
You're down in the cage. You think you're safe. Why weren't you?
Well, what happened was actually the shark came up, hit the bait, and what happens when they hit their bait is a membrane goes over their eyes and actually essentially blinds them. So the shark actually came in and
look at that.
Hit the cage blind. And from there, it just had to keep moving.
Yeah.
Had to keep moving forward and came into the cage.
And you kept the camera rolling.
Yeah, kept the camera rolling. Paul, the other gentleman in the cage, was right in the line of this shark and was pulled out. You can see him getting pulled out right now by the crew. I exited the cage at this point, and I'm basically just...
At one point, and we saw a moment ago in that video, we saw something red. You caught in your eye, didn't you see something red and you thought, oh, somebody's been bitten, we better get the heck out of here?
Absolutely. At the time, I was thinking that Paul had been struck by the shark, and I wasn't sure what had happened at that point.
But it wasn't, what was that? Was that a float?
It's a float that basically goes between the two cages. To prevent it, you can actually see it.
So it wasn't floated, it was just a
So bring us through this. It gets through. You said, for whatever reason, the shark is through. You say to yourself, I got to get out of here?
Yeah, absolutely. I had to get out of there. There wasn't room for me. We're talking about a 14 to 16-foot shark.
So the cage is going down, and you want to go up. How did you get out?
I ended up getting pulled up by the crew. My hookah line, which is an air hose that supplies me air while I'm down there, was being pulled on, and they actually pulled me up enough so that I could grab hold of the cage again, and then made my way back up and out of the cage.
Up, are you thinking the shark is going to hit you while you're going up?
I definitely knew where the shark was that came into the cage, but
the window.
When I exit, you can actually see there's another shark below me. There's actually two other sharks that are circling below me. And I definitely knew that they were there.
Let me ask you this, because when we see that shark come into the cage like that, have you ever gone back and watched Jaws now, 30 years later, and you see how fake Jaws looks? But I got to tell you, that shark looks fake to me. I mean, they're like a prehistoric figure, aren't they?
Yeah, it's
I'm sure when they're coming
surreal.
at you like they were for you, you could care less what it looks like.
The chompers.
But it does look almost like in animated films or whatever.
Like a robot.
They could make them look even better than the real thing now.
Yeah. I tell you, being there in person, there's nothing more real.
You're thinking it's over, right? I mean, when the shark gets close to you, you thinking this is how I'm going down?
I definitely thought it was over. I thought that there was no way I was going to make it out of this scenario. But luckily for me, that these sharks aren't the man-eating predators that they're made out to be in the movies. They're not. The fact of the matter was I was back in the water 15 minutes after. I was in a submersible cage, which is a different type of cage. You're actually on a platform rather than being protected by a cage. And, I had 4 sharks circling within arm's length. And
I would sue the manufacturer of the cage. The shark got in, pal. Thanks.
Are they going to change cages in light of that question?
They did change the cages, but, the truth of the matter is we're talking about a 2,000-pound shark. There's really no stopping it.
Really?
Was your hair gray before this incident? Or is it, since the incident, it's really gone?
It's been gray for a while, but I think I've been doing these type of crazy things, not quite like to this extent, but...
Well, thanks so much for sharing your story. It's absolutely incredible. Glad you survived.
It's a pleasure being on the show.
All right.
Thank you,
Nice meeting you. All right, Patrick.
We got to find out, Patrick, right now what's on the weekend show for tomorrow. So we're going to head on out to